Elizabeth Downing, what is the greatest challenge to home health care during the COVID-19 pandemic?
This has been a really challenging time because people thought they had their decisions made when contingencies arose, and now everything has changed. So they have to rethink everything. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
Run and are a part of something called Timesavers, and you deal a lot with home health care and the elderly. We have learned that in the COVID-19 pandemic, the elderly are some of the most vulnerable to contracting the virus. That said, as you mentioned, home health care decisions, a lot of people thought they had that all figured out, but now it's just everything. So where do you start?
Yeah, so we have actually taken this opportunity to try and put together a program to help people do that, to help people start, and then walk them all the way through, called Grace in Motion, because things are constantly changing, and I think the last 6 months have made that even more evident. But a lot of people are, if they're in the hospital for an illness or an injury, and normally they would have gone to rehab. They knew which rehab they wanted to go to, but now maybe their family can't see them in rehab. And maybe they're a little nervous that the rehab facility might have an outbreak. So now they're looking at going directly home. And we're non-medical care, but we work with home health all the time. And so they're going to want to put together that package of the home care that's non-medical and the home health care, the PT and the OT that comes in. People who haven't been able to see their loved ones in skilled nursing for months, except through a window. I mean, it's just heartbreaking, really. And it's no one's fault. Everyone's doing the best they can. But if someone was thinking maybe that was the next step for their loved one, they may wait a while longer. We may want to weigh pros and cons of either decision. And sometimes you can stay home much longer than you thought you could with just a few tweaks. Gotcha. But it's putting together all the pieces of the puzzle.
So you employ individuals who work as home health providers. That said, not only do you have the patient who needs the home health care, but then you've got this employee who is putting their life in jeopardy as well by going into someone else's home. How are you handling that?
Exactly. We have put together a protocol of questions they must answer before every shift about the fever and the cough, and if they've been around anyone who has symptoms, and if they've been to a hot spot. We keep tabs on the guidelines, the governor's guidelines, CDC guidelines. Everybody has to take their temperature before they go on shift. We provide them with their personal protective equipment, masks, gowns, gloves. We are doing everything in our power to make sure that our care team is as protected as our clients are, for the good of everyone. It's a balance. And as I said, we're non-medical care, so technically we're not healthcare, but we are in those environments.
Absolutely. You should mention that we're talking to Elizabeth Downing, who is the outreach coordinator with Timesavers. And you're watching Coffee Near Me. We are talking via Zoom. I'm coming to you from my dining room. And we want you to keep the conversation going. Who would you like to sit down and have a cup of coffee with and a good conversation? So speaking of conversation, Elizabeth, this is an important conversation in these COVID-19 extremely unusual times. Where home health is just a real issue and dealing with it accordingly. So what advice would you have for people moving forward?
So for people in our age group, you may think that this is never going to come for you, but these decisions, but start now making a plan and preparing. And if something's going on with your parents, give us a call and let us. I've done so much training on consulting now that, maybe I can help you make a plan and walk through and get to a good place where you feel in control of as much as you can be in control of. But preparation and planning are the absolute key to everything.
Elizabeth Downing, thank you and good luck to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.